What's up, Mavericks? This is Erica Sepola, and today I'm walking you through how to customize your invoice templates inside QuickBooks Online. If you want your invoices to look more professional, match your brand, or just clean up the layout, this quick walkthrough will show you exactly where everything is and how to make invoices your own. So let's get started. So we're going to start on the main QuickBooks dashboard, and we're going to navigate to the settings, which you can find in the top right corner. Just click on the gear icon. Once you've done that, we're going to go to the left side of the menu under Your Company, and we're going to click on Custom Form Styles. So from here, you can see that there is already a file here. This is going to be our default template. Now we can go in there and we can just edit that, or we can create an entire new template if we want to keep that default still intact. So we will go here to the top right corner, and we're going to click on New Style, and we're going to click on Invoice. Now, as you can see, you can also go in and customize estimates and sales receipts, but today we're going to focus on invoices. So click on that. So if you look on the left side of your screen, you're going to see that we have 3 different tabs. We're going to start right here on Design. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click the first option, Change Up the Template. So right here is where you're going to be able to select what style of template that you want. So you can click on those, and on the right side of the screen, you're going to be able to see the changes. So we have Airy New, Airy Classic, we have Modern, we have Fresh, Bold, and Friendly. So just click through those. Do note that you can go in and you can make changes. So if, for example, if you don't like the font, we're going to change that in just a little bit. So just find one that most matches the style that you like. So I think we are going to go with Modern. So once you've selected which style template you want to use, we're going to go back over to the left menu, and we're going to click on the next option to make logo edits. So you're going to be able to either add a logo that you already have in QuickBooks Online, or you're going to be able to upload a new logo. So you're going to click on that, and you're going to click on Add a Logo. And as you can see, we have a logo already here, but if we wanted to add a new one, we would just simply click on this box with the plus sign, and we would upload from our device. So we're going to use the logo that we already have in QuickBooks Online and click Save. And as you can see, it has added our logo. So you can go in now beside your logo on the left menu, and you can adjust the size, you can adjust the placement of it. That's about all that you can do. You can also have the option to hide it if you do not want it to appear on the invoice. So once we have our logo the way we want it, we're going to move back to the menu, and we're going to move to the next item, Try Other Colors. So there's already some colors here that you can click around with. You can also go in this box if you have the code and enter that. But we'll just click around with some options, and on the right side of the screen, you'll be able to see how it looks as you change the colors. So you're just going to want to click through there and find something that looks nice. I'm probably going to go with that. Yeah, definitely. And you have your color. Now, if you see this and you do not like how it looks so far, you can go back up to change the template and go in and click around and see how it looks. You may like something better, and I actually like this better. The other has way too much color for me, so we're going to stick with Airy Classic. So once you've selected the color that you like for your template, you can now go in and you can change the font. It is pretty limited. You're not going to have a whole lot of fancy fonts. It's just going to be really the basics. But you're just going to click on the drop down. And again, just like anything you change, on the right side of the screen, you're going to be able to see how it looks. So we can just click through that, and we can see if we like any of these options. Now, for example, I like this Times New Roman, but it looks a little small to me. So you can go to this little drop down on the right, and you can change it a little bit and make the text bigger or smaller. You also have the option to go in and edit your print settings. So you can just click on this option. You can go in and you can adjust the page margins. You can fit a printed form with pay stub and a window envelope. You would just check that on. Or you also have the option to use letterhead paper. You would just check that on. We're going to leave those off and we're going to scroll back up and we're going to move off of this design tab and move on to content. So this is a little bit different because you're not going to go in on this left side of the screen. You're going to edit right here on the preview. So we're going to click on the top section and get started. So you can go in now, and if you want to remove certain items from your invoice, you can just check these off and on. So for example, you can probably see that we have our email on here. If we want to remove our email address, we're just going to simply click this off and it has removed the email address, but we're going to leave that on. Now you can go in here, and if your business name is changed or you're for some reason just need to go in and change the business name, which I need to do because this is obviously not baked by Erica, you can go right in here and remove this and edit your name. So we currently do not on this template have our phone number listed. We could just check this on, make sure the green check is showing, and we can go in and we could add our phone number if we wanted to add that to the invoice. And as you can see, it just pops up right there in the preview. You can also have the option to go in and update your address, or you can remove that completely, as well as your website. So once we have all of that ready, we can move down to the next section. So you can remove the form name. Right now, if you look back up, it says invoice. You can remove that entirely, or you can go in and you can change it. So for example, if you wanted it to say account statement, you can go in there and change that. But we're just going to put that back to invoice. Form numbers. If you want to remove the invoice number, you can do that. And you can also use custom transaction numbers if you want to add that. But we're going to just kind of leave this basic. Next section, we have display. So we already have billing address that's locked in, but you can go in here. You can add and remove shipping, terms, and due date. So if you look over here on the right side of this preview, we have the due date, we have the terms. If we wanted to go in and remove the terms, we're just going to uncheck that, and you'll see that that's gone. And you can also add in shipping, which will show the ship date, how it's being shipped, and a tracking number if you want to add that information. You also have the option to go in and manage your custom fields. So if you've created custom fields to apply to your invoices, these are going to show up. If you want to go in and manage those custom fields, you can do so by clicking this link at the bottom. However, I will warn you that if you click this, it's going to pull you out of this and bring you into another screen. So I would highly recommend either getting this all set up before you come in here, or making sure that you save this so that you don't lose your progress. We're not going to mess with custom fields, but that is an option there if you want to add something like a sales rep name or anything like that. So we are done with this section. So we're going to go to the right side of the screen and we're going to click on the next section. So you can go in and you can edit the labels and the widths. We're not going to mess with that. But if you don't like the way that it looks, you can go in there and you can adjust that to get it just the way you want. So just like on the previous screen, we can go in and we can add and remove different types of data. So if we didn't want to show the date, we could remove that. You can also click in to include the description, to add the category, anything like that. If there's some reason that you want to add that, whether it's for tracking purposes or anything like that, go in there and just check these on. You can add the description that's already there. You can remove it if you don't want that on there. If you just want a clean basic invoice, you can also include the quantity and rate. So you can also click on this to the show activity option. So you can group activity, collapse activity rows, show progress on line items, anything like that, show billable time. Include employee's name, anything like that. It just really depends on how you operate your business as to whether you're going to turn on these settings. If you see this little grouping of dots, this means that you can change the order. So if you wanted to put the rate before quantity, you could just simply pull this and move it, and you can see that it switches those. So if you do want to change the order of things, you can just drag and drop these around until you get it the way that you want. So once we're done with that, we're going to click on the last section. On the footer, you can display a discount. If you require a deposit, you can click that on, and you can see it adds that right there. An estimate, summary, anything like that. You can change the message to customer. So right now it says, thank you for your business and have a great day. And it shows right here. You can go in here and change that. And I'm just going to show you how that changes. You can change the font size, and you can enter any other text you'd like in the footer. And you can see that goes at the very bottom of the footer. You can change the alignment, and you can change the size of the text if you want to do that. So once you're done with all of that, we're going to scroll back up to the top of our screen, and we're going to go to the next tab, which is emails. So this is just going to allow you to customize what the customer sees when you email them an invoice. So you're going to start off, it defaults to, it provides them with summarized details with a PDF attached. You can change this to full details if you want. You can remove the PDF if you want. We're going to stick with the default. So then the next section is going to show the subject and the message to customer. So this is what your customer is going to see in the email. So the subject line is very basic. It's invoice from Baked by Erica. You can just click in there and change that if you want. We have it using a greeting. So it's dear full name. If we want to remove that greeting, we certainly can. Just uncheck it. Or we can go in here and we can edit it. So we can make it blank so there's no salutation or to, and then we have it set to full name, but you can go in first, last, first name, company name, anything like that. We're going to leave that the default. It also has a message to customer that just says your invoice is attached. You can go in here and edit this text to whatever you want it to be. If you want to include any additional information, you can go in here right here and do that. So the next section is the reminder email. So if your customer has not paid their invoice and you want to send a reminder email, you're going to go in here. You can edit the subject, you can edit the greeting, and you can edit the message to your customer. So now if you want to see how everything looks, you can go down to the bottom right of the screen. You can click on Preview PDF. It's going to pull you into another screen. So you'll be able to go in here and you'll be able to view exactly what your invoice is going to look like. I would recommend looking over everything, making sure you have everything included, making sure you remove anything you're not going to use. Maybe you don't like the fonts, anything like that. Just look this over from top to bottom. Make sure it's the way that you want it to look. And if not, you can just go back in just the way that I instructed previously and go in and make changes. So either you're going to be happy with it right now or you're going to go back in and make changes. But once you have it the way that you want it, you're going to go to the bottom right corner and you're going to click on Done. So now that you're back in custom form styles, you're going to see that your invoice template is now saved. If you don't see this right after you click done, just reload the page and it should pop up. You can now go to the right side. If you want to go in later and make more edits, you can just simply click on edit and it will bring you right back to the screens we were on previously. So you can make those changes there. You can also click on this action drop down. You can preview the PDF if you want. You can rename it. You can delete it entirely, or you can set it as default. I went in already and set it as default. If you no longer want to use this as default, you can click on remove on default. And then as you can see, you can go back in and you can make that your default template so you're not having to change it every time. And that's it. Your customized invoice template is ready to go. A clean and branded invoice makes your business look polished. It helps customers know exactly what they're paying for. If you want more QuickBooks walkthroughs, let me know what you want to see next. Thanks for watching, Mavericks, and I'll see you next time.